Hi everyone, my name is Richard Santoro and I welcome you to Third and Zen, the YouTube channel where every week we're sharing a spiritual message to nourish ourselves, heart, mind, body, and soul. First, as you can see, I'm not at home, I'm at the beach. I'm out and about on this brisk, cloudy autumn day. At the beach, it's gorgeous here, so I figured what a better spot, what a better place than to stop and share a brief message. And I found this really cool piece of driftwood, this giant log that I can balance the phone on, and it's really cool. It makes for a wonderful altar. Sorry that I don't have a visual for all of you, but it's here, I promise you. Again, thanks for stopping by the channel. Thanks for checking out today's video. I hope it finds you doing well. I hope that you were taking the time to care for yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul. I hope you're remembering that you are worthy of love and self-care and care from others, and you are worthy of joy and peace and fellowship with God. So, with that being said, because it's a little cold, I'm just going to jump right in and get started with today's message. So, looking at my previous sermons and the message that came next chronologically, that was up next in the batting order, is a message entitled Explore and Engage. And when I opened it up last week or so to take a look at it and get ready to deliver it here on this channel, I realized that I'd kind of already delivered the heart of the message over the summer, actually outside as well, when I was on vacation with family over the summer. So there's no need for me to repeat the exact message, but I do just want to hit on some points and sort of share a little bit of it. The reason why I'm not sharing that message again, like I said, I've already shared it, number one. And number two, that particular message itself was delivered in church, to my church, and that message itself, the real sort of maybe focus or sentiment that was woven into it, because it was delivered to a church, it was sort of delivered to an audience that, in part, some of it, the folks were a little apathetic, a little aloof with their relationship with their spiritual life and with God and with Jesus. So it was a little bit of a reminder of, hey, as a friend said that I referenced in that message, maybe don't be like, as the friend said, like water that flows and washes over a rock and then just dries up. He said that's what a lot of people, it's like when they go to church. They go to church and water, it flows over them like water over a rock and then just dries up. And that's a little bit of a hard truth. But again, we're not at church. We're a different audience. We're a different community here. So what I do want to mention that was in that message that I didn't share in my previous message over the summer. And again, I haven't really said what the message was about, so I apologize for that. It's about the idea that we need to explore who Jesus is for ourselves. We need to explore who Jesus is and engage with Jesus for ourselves. Have a personal relationship. Do it for ourselves rather than just vibing a little bit with Jesus, hearing about it and let him wash over us like water over a rock and then drying up. That we need to engage with Jesus. We need to explore Jesus. Now, one thing that I mentioned in that sermon to the church that I didn't mention in our sermon here on this channel, I referenced the movie, the Superman movie that came out a handful of years ago called Man of Steel. Not the best movie, let's be honest, but decent movie. Reference something in that Superman movie, Man of Steel. Now, in that movie, the director makes a lot of Christ symbolism with Jesus, and the director's not shy about doing it or about owning it. And not surprising, because, when we look at when we look at Superman, there's a lot of Christ symbolism, a lot of, he's a sort of a Christ-like figure in his depiction, which is ironic because Superman was created by two Jewish boys from Brooklyn, so that's kind of cool. So in the last act of the movie, when things aren't going well for the new Superman, he is with Lois Lane, and he says to Lois, "Thank you for believing in me." Superman says to Lois Lane, "Thank you for believing in me." And she responds, "Well, it didn't seem to matter much or make much of a difference." To which Superman replies, "It did to me. It did to me." He says, "Thank you for believing in me." She says, "Didn't seem to matter much." And he says, "It did to me." Now, I don't want to speak on behalf of God or Jesus and say what matters or doesn't matter. and if it matters or doesn't matter, if we believe or explore and engage. But I will look to Scripture. And when we look at the Gospels, when we read them, when we unpack them, when we explore them, when we engage with them, particularly in John's Gospel, we do see that it does matter a great deal. It does make a huge difference to Jesus when people explore who he is and engage with him. It happens in all four of the Gospels, especially in the Gospel of John, where when people encounter Jesus, when he encounters people, and they talk to him, simply talk to him, and they ask questions or they engage, it blossoms more and more. For example, in the Gospel of John, Martha, close friend of Jesus, when her brother Lazarus, who also was a close friend of Jesus, when he dies, and Martha talks to Jesus about why Jesus wasn't there, she's open, she's honest, she's raw, she's laying it out for him. And it makes a difference to Jesus. And in that exploring and engaging with Jesus by Martha, Jesus reveals deeper truths, deeper parts of themselves, and it brings them closer together. So it does matter when we explore and when we engage with Jesus. And that's what I said a little bit over the summer in a sermon here, and that's what I said in that sermon to the church. But rather than just repeat myself, I want to add one more layer to it for us. There's a moment in the Gospels, and I don't have it committed to memory. I apologize. Had I not done this off the cuff, I would have had it prepared. But there are several moments in the Gospels, and there was one in particular that struck me. There are moments in the Gospels where Jesus encounters people, or an individual. He says, "What would you like me to do for you? What would you like me to do for you?" Now, there are times where people come right up to him and say, "Jesus, I need this, A, B, and C." There are times where people come right up to Jesus, like Martha and her sister Mary, and say, "Why weren't you here? Had you been here, my brother wouldn't have died." So there are moments where people take a beeline right to Jesus and say, boom, these are my thoughts, or this is my need. And then there are moments where Jesus goes up to people and says, "What do you want me to do for you? What would you like me to do for you?" So take a moment here on this shore, on this beach, where just like Jesus walked so many times on the shore with others or by himself, imagine yourself with Jesus. And imagine he says to you, "What would you like me to do for you? What do you need me to do for you? What would you like of me?" It's a challenging question sometimes. What do we need from Jesus? What would we like him to do for us? And I'm asking it for three reasons. Number one, because it's just a valuable and beautiful question and a beautiful jumping off point for exploring and engaging with Jesus. Asking, and imagine Jesus asking us, "What would you like me to do for you?" Number two, because again, a reminder, the value in exploring and engaging Jesus for ourselves, and in finding what we want Jesus to do for us. And the last reason why is because I want to throw another layer into this message about exploring and engaging Jesus, and it's the layer of hope. It's an atmosphere of hope. It's a question and vibe of hope. And we always need that. We need that now in today's world. We need that now in today's society. And I know each one of us have something or multiple things that need a layer, a vibe, and an atmosphere of hope, and a question to ponder, reflect on, meditate on, think about, of Jesus saying, "What do you want me to do for you? What can I do for you?" is nothing if not a vibe and question of hope. And adding hope to our daily spiritual journey, our daily lives in general, is always a good thing, isn't it? We could always use hope with our doubts, with our fears, with our anxiety, with our uncertainties, with our stresses, with our triggers, with our life's challenges, with our mistakes, with our uncertainty of directions, with all the pain we might have, current pain or past pain that we still hold on to or is still there unhealed. A vibe and spirit of hope in the form of Jesus saying, "What would you like me to do for you?" is a beautiful thing for us and a beautiful way for us to explore Jesus by exploring what he can do for us and engaging with Jesus by answering the question of, Jesus, I'm glad you asked. Here's what you could do for me. Here's what I need. So I hope and pray that as you go forward and explore and engage Jesus, either here on a beach or going for a walk or taking 10 seconds to just, in the middle of a stressful day, close your eyes, take a deep breath and say, this is what I need, Jesus. This is what I hope for. And if you're asking, this is what you can do for me. Thanks be to God. Amen. Okay, again, my friends, I want to thank you for stopping by the channel, checking out today's video. I appreciate you. If you feel like hitting the thumbs up on the YouTube thing, if you feel like liking, subscribing, sharing, it does help. And either way, I wish you nothing but peace, joy, and fellowship with God and fellowship with whatever it is you need in this moment or in your journey going forward. I wish you fellowship with hope, with healing, with peace, with joy, and with love. I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you all. Have a great day. Thanks be to God. Ciao.